Hey, so what's up, guys? I want to show you a clip by Luke Belmar. He talks about, how dope it is to be a middleman, and this is exactly what we do, what we teach in our local lead generation coaching program. We simply connect a buyer to a service provider, and we make a small percentage in the middle. And the reason why it's such a strong business model is that we get to leverage the business owners' expertise, their equipment, their manpower, their labor, all the things involved into required into getting into business. We don't have to take the risk or invest in any of that. We can simply go find the customer and be the middleman, generate the lead, and make money in the middle. And we do this for your local plumber, roofer, carpet cleaners, garage door repair, towing companies, limousine companies, like you name it. We have over 100 different niches that we go into to do this business model. And sometimes it's more, it can be more powerful for other people to kind of talk about how powerful this business model is. So I found this clip today by Luke Belmar, who's kind of becoming popular today in the young entrepreneurial space. I first saw him in a few different clips with Andrew Tate, but I want to play this little clip here real quick.
There's a guy that lived in Puerto Rico. He already left. Call him Jay. And Jay was able to arbitrage a relationship between South Korean mask manufacturers and one of the biggest hospitals in New York City. And what did he do? He just connected the head of the hospital in New York City and connected the head of the Korean factory, and he just cashed in a check. And what were they shipping? 5 containers of masks every single day. He received $20,000 commission per container per day. He was making $100,000 net profit a day for over a year and a half by connecting people. I'm in the business of deals. How much energy can I receive with the least amount of energy output? Because I understand that a genius isn't a person that does everything. A genius is a person that does the right things, the necessary things, conserving energy, playing the game right. Why? Because if you understand that everything's energy, because everything is energy, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, everything transmutes to energy. There's a guy that lived in Puerto Rico. He already left.
Right, so yeah, there's a lot to take away from what Luke just said. We always say all the time that local lead generation is such a genius business model because, we're simply being the middleman, connecting a buyer to a local business, a small business owner. And a small business owner can't survive without more customers. So we simply get in the middle and earn a percentage. So it's repeatable and it's scalable. We don't have to get into the weeds and start small businesses and buy storefronts and buy equipment and hire labor and all this infrastructure to get into business anymore. We are much smarter than your local business owner because we're leveraging the power of code and internet to essentially be the doorway of customers to these local business owners. So we don't have the risk. We don't have all the time that is required to get into business. We can simply throw up a website, rank it in Google, and be the middleman and essentially make a percentage. And once we do it for one client, you can rinse and repeat the process and do it for so many small businesses all across the country. And there's 42,000 zip codes in the US alone, and there's over 100 different niches. So as long as you learn this skill set, it's there. There is, I know everybody says this all the time, but it's essentially limitless how much you can earn. And the only way you would fail at this is like if you truly don't understand how powerful this business model is and you never give a serious attempt at it. On a quick side note, Dan, during the pandemic, he also made $50 million net profit doing lead gen, connecting buyer with seller, similar to what Luke just was talking about. Dan used the network of our program, 7,000 students, and we found deals of, buyers, big hospitals in the US that were needing PPE masks, and we essentially brokered different deals, using the network, meaning that, when you have 7,000 students, some of the students are going to know some of the VPs of various hospitals, right? So we would broker these deals, and, Dan alone netted 50 million during the pandemic. Now, this is something that Dan doesn't really talk about publicly, but so, most people on the outside looking in aren't gonna know about this, but this is our one of our quote unquote secret groups that we made at the time, when we were like putting together these different deals. As you can see, this is from like, 2 years ago, or now almost 3 years ago, in fact, during the pandemic. And maybe I'll play you couple more clips related to this.
I know Dan's going to talk about repping for manufacturing companies. I'm going to talk about manufacturing companies in general and the things that they buy. You would not believe the types of things that manufacturing companies buy on a consistent basis. Boxes. They buy boxes. They spend money on logistics. They spend money on carts. They buy safety, PPE. They buy software. They buy front office services. They have consumables that they use. The consumables are where it's at too, because it's constant. So their tooling, if they cut metal,
so this is
they
Seth,
have
one of our
consumables.
students.
They shoot oil when they're cut.
Essentially, sleeping giants is what we call this group. What we're talking about here is not just doing lead generation for like small companies like your tree care company or your plumber, but we're talking about doing lead gen for big manufacturing companies. Like we discovered this model of being the middleman for these middle manufacturing companies during the pandemic, when Dan and a small group started making all these deals with big hospitals, and it opened the door of all this opportunity that's out there for connecting, like, the head of hospitals, or manufacturing companies, and being the middleman and providing them with textile goods or material or different various consumables that these companies require, and we get in the middle and earn a percentage on that. There's students in our program that has made I was gonna say, there's students that made money with boxes, but yeah, I just wanted to show some students that were posting their results during that time. I mean, here's Damien that just made 20 grand from a PPE deal. PPE stands for personal protection equipment, like masks or gowns. But this was during the pandemic, 20 grand. Here's another example. Josh cracked 200K in 6 weeks, as you can see. I mean, these are doing these sort of big boy deals, as we like to call it, like connecting big companies / manufacturing companies with, the head of hospitals, or, in Josh's case, this is a CBD manufacturing company. So, I mean, Luke is absolutely spot on when he's talking about, it's not about doing everything in business. It's about being a genius. It's about doing the right thing at the right time and having efficiency of energy. Being the middleman is the most efficient thing you can do to make money, because you're just simply connecting two people together and making crazy money in the middle with hardly any ongoing work. because you were the connector, anytime these manufacturing companies run out of that material or goods, they're going to keep buying, right, these big orders, and you're continually earning residual income and big residual income in the middle. So I'm telling you guys right now, lead generation is a genius business model, and it's one of the strongest business models out there. Here's another clip I want to show you guys here. This is during the pandemic again. Like, we created this whole infrastructure database to track different suppliers and sellers and distributors. I just want to show you a quick clip just so you guys know that I'm not making all of this up.
MedX supply that you guys are gonna have access to in real time is that here's something that you can actually see what the market's saying in real time from all of us. And so what I know will happen is this. Nadia goes and finds a source, let's just say, and let's say this guy or gal says,
I apologize, the quality's kind of low on this video. Maybe because it's so old, maybe oh crap. Okay, the quality's better on this one, but I just want to show you guys.
Prices are already fixed. I already bought 1.2 million of these things from them, and that will be on your guys' sheet, right?
So,
but they are a manufacturer in the USA, so that was very appealing to me because I had a choice when I got this deal. Is I could wait for a boat to come across, which to me is sketchy, especially at some of these times.
Right. So basically, as you can see, this database kind of shows. During the pandemic, there's all these like freights on the ground that are shipping these PPE masks. And so you have to track all of this, and using our network, we were able to. Some places, for example, a warehouse in Vegas might have, 100,000 in stock of masks. But your hospital wants 200,000, right? But Vegas only has 100,000. So you need to come up with a way to come up with 100,000 more. So you might have another supply in LA, another supply in New Mexico, and whoever can get these deals together the fastest, like, wins that deal. And there's a lot of players at that time as well that were trying to get these deals, right? So it was highly competitive, and timing is of the essence. So by leveraging our network of 7,000 students, we found all these supplies, right? And using the power of the network, we were able to win a lot of those deals. And this is how Dan alone netted 50 million during that time, and a bunch of other students made a lot of money as well, just leveraging our group. And so, this is essentially, we were so good at doing this is because this is a group of 7,000 people that get the model of lead generation, because this is what we do, right? And like I said before, you can go into big deals doing lead gen for manufacturing companies. And so, yeah, really, like, the sky's the limit. Like, what I want people to understand is, like, I'm so glad Luke made that video, because sometimes, again, sometimes it can be a lot more powerful coming from, other people's mouth than just our own, right? But yeah, I mean, lead generation is a genius model. And just maybe show you one final clip. Again, there's more clips of Dan talking about the PPE, but I just want to show you guys enough to prove to you guys, like, I'm not making this up. I mean, obviously I don't have time to watch through hours and hours of content during that time, during the pandemic, but here's some quick ones I was able to find.
Which is why I can be successful in the PPE, the mask stuff, even though
Let me just back up a little. I want to see what he's talking about.
So my risk versus reward, look, I own a lot of real estate. Physical real estate.
Yeah.
I just bought a place for, I think, 1.3 million bucks. And I think I'll get, $8-9 grand a month in rent for that. right? But that's a lot of money for only $8-9 grand a month when I can buy digital assets. And listen, people are going to bust my balls on this and be like, well, then why don't you just do that? No, there's diversification. I want to own skill sets in real estate, in commercial real estate, in digital real estate. Like, I'm not a one-trick pony, nor is any millionaire you'll ever meet. Is we're utilizing our resources, our assets, and our understanding and skills across multiple different sectors, which is why I can be successful in the PPE, the mask stuff, even though I wouldn't do it again. I could be successful in local lead gen. I could be successful in software. I can be successful in residential real estate, commercial real estate, industrial real estate, developing. I've done them all. Yeah. Right. And it's because you start stacking these skill sets, and you don't look at only one lane, but you see that, look, you got to have multiple ways to earn a living because things stop. The Yellow Page salesman who was killing it at one point is out of work if he did not or she did not grow and evolve with the future of how things are moving.
Yeah.
They're dead.
Gone.
So that's, to me, sales is an easy one because there's no sale.
Yeah, guys, it looks like my webcam went out, but the reason why, Dan said he wouldn't do it again is because, obviously pandemic, it created a lot of opportunities for that space, the PPE space, but it also opened up a huge opportunity for a lot of bad actors. So during that time, there were a lot of, scammers essentially that were creating fake POs and rinsing people of their money, basically. And one of Dan's partner fell victim to one scammer, and they lost, I believe it was like $2 million. It was quite the ordeal, but that's a story for another day. But all in all, I just wanted to make this video to show you guys the power of being the middleman, lead generation. Sometimes I know I kind of thought this way too. Like, it doesn't sound like the sexiest business model because you're like, just simply building websites and generating a lead for like plumber, roofer, but understand, like, that's not what it's truly about. You can expand the skill of being the middleman into far bigger things, as you master that skill set. And like, now we have students generating a lead for much bigger businesses inside our group. Like you saw, like Josh, who's doing lead generation, being the middleman for a CBD manufacturing company and making over $100 grand per month. I myself started in the local lead gen space, generating leads for roofing and plumbing and those small businesses, which I still do, and make 50 grand a month. But I'm also starting to do lead generation, or I have been doing lead generation for the last like 4 or 5 years for the coaching program, right? Dan's coaching program. So again, lead generation is a very, very effective skill set. And I look at it as like, it's a smarter business model than most businesses out there because just the efficiency of energy. Like, it's a lot more efficient to simply make a percentage of a business earning a small cut than having to run an entire business with, staff, equipment, licenses, like, infrastructure, all of that, right? So hope you guys like this video. If you are interested in our lead generation business coaching program, check out the link in the description. Talk to you guys soon.